Welcome back to Spitballin Cards. In today's video, Juan Soto is a Boston Red Sox. How are you feeling about that, guys?
Woo! Not a Yankee.
Happy?
Not a Yankee. Just kidding. No, the reason we bring this up is because on Twitter, there's tons of sources claiming that Juan Soto is in a verbal agreement with the Boston Red Sox, and it's a done deal. I have a few friends on Instagram. Phil is actually a Red Sox fan who I'm sure is hoping this is true, that Juan Soto is going to be a Red Sox is kind of the word. But since then, we've gotten word from more credible sources that is not true. It's not decided yet, and it's not out there. But this brings up the idea, what's going on with Juan Soto? What if he leaves the Yankees? Who do we want him to go to? Do you think his cards can still hold up as well if he goes to the Red Sox versus the Yankees? Jeff, start us off. What do you think?
Yeah, this weekend, these rumors were flying wildly about not only Soto going there and being a done deal, but within the next year, Vlad also going there. Vladdy, Soto, Rafael Devers forming a Dominican Republic trio in Boston. It's kind of exciting to think about. I got to be honest. My prediction is that Soto was going to stay with the Yankees. And if he wasn't, I thought he would go to the Mets. I'd much rather see him in Boston than in a Mets uniform. I think it'd be great. I think he'd do wonderful hitting balls off the monster. I think he'd be great there. I just, I don't really believe it's going to happen.
So you don't think he's going to the Red Sox?
I don't think so.
Where do you think he's going?
I still think he's going to stay in New York with the Yankees.
Okay. All right. Chris, what are you thinking?
I think we just have to wait and see whatever we see if Bob Nightingale says he's going to the Red Sox, and then we'll know for sure that he's not. But I don't know. I think Boston's. It seems like they're still kind of a dark horse. The Mets just make too much sense. Like the Mets just really need to make a splash. They have a whole bunch of money coming off the books. I know the Red Sox actually don't have a ton of money committed, but I don't know. I just don't see him. I don't see that happening. I would love to see it, and I'd love to see them then go get Guerrero. I would love that Dominican triumvirate. Think of all the great SSP images we wouldn't get from Topps, but would have the opportunity to get. It would be great. I would love to see that. But I just think for the Red Sox, number one priority this offseason was pitching. They still need like someone to front that rotation of young guys. Corbin Burns just makes way more sense. To go out and get Corbin Burns would make more sense. Corbin Burns, like maybe Teoscar or bring back Tyler O'Neill. And then I would like to see, again, Red Sox fans could bash me for this, but trade, see if the Angels would take on take on Yoshida, and the Red Sox bring in Mike Trout. Stick him in left field. He doesn't have to cover any ground. He can just age gracefully, popping balls over the green monster. I would love to see that.
Yeah. Chris just wants to make more trades from the Braves and the Red Sox with the way the Sale trade ended up. That's what Chris is hoping for.
I honestly would also love to see Vaughn Grissom make the All-Star team. I still like that kid. I liked him as a Brave. I don't think his career is over. He was hurt like the entire season. They need a second baseman. And Jeff and I have talked about how left-handed heavy that lineup is. With Duran, Devers, Casas, Marcelo Mayer coming up. And if they got Soto as well, someone's got to hit right-handed in the middle of that lineup. I mean, those lefties they're fine. They can all hit lefties, but still.
Do we really think that the Red Sox could carry Soto, Vlad, and Devers contracts and still have enough money for a competitive team? Because I don't know if that's possible. Because Vlad's going to be close to $400 million next year. If he has the same season next year as he had this year, which is a great season, right? Like if he has that season, I don't think they could carry that.
Yes. The answer is yes, they could. It just means if they want to spend that money. In baseball, you can do whatever you want.
I have no faith in John Henry. No faith.
He's got a ton of money. That team makes a bazillion dollars. Like when they're competitive, the fans they can charge $12 for a soda. People will pay it. People just that ballpark sold out like something like 6 seasons in a row or longer than that when they were good. Yeah. They make tons of money internationally, especially if they have those 3 Dominican guys, Jeff. The international revenue would be through the roof. They definitely could do it. Would they do it? You're right. John Henry would have to really just decide to go for it.
What are the big contracts that the Red Sox have right now? Do they have anything long?
Like Devers and Story.
Story's up soon-ish though. That wouldn't be too big of an impact, isn't it? And in like 2 or 3 years.
I think he's got 3 left.
Yeah, I don't consider 3 soon, but
no. I do. I mean like think about all these guys when they're 35, right? When they're all not that good. Yeah. That's when you have to like think about can they field a competitive team?
2028.
Huh?
Yeah.
2028.
That's when it's a free agent.
Yeah.
So he's got 4 more
more
years
years.
left.
4 more years. No, well, 2020 it's a team option. So there's a $5 million buyout. So there's actually 3 more years.
Oh.
I would be shocked if they picked up Trevor Story, age 35 season.
Yeah, see what the if you could place a bet on that in Vegas, what kind of odds you would get.
He's gonna win
You have
MVP.
to bet $1 million to win 1 cent.
Take the other way though. What if you bet $20? What's the payout?
And it sits there for 4 years.
Yeah.
Yuck. Anyways, okay. So Ty, what are your thoughts on the Soto situation?
I don't, in terms of like whether or not he will or won't end it anywhere. This has been an interesting twist. I didn't have the Red Sox on my short list. I don't think any of us. I don't know that we even said Red Sox when we were discussing where he might land a few weeks ago when we made our MLB free agency predictions video. Maybe one of you guys did.
Not for Soto.
None of us picked him. We had Chris as the Mets, Scott as the Mets. Jeff said Yankees. I said Yankees or Dodgers, not the Mets. That was what I said, but mostly because I was just hoping he doesn't go to the Mets. I wouldn't mind him to the Red Sox.
Take credit for picking the Red Sox then, since he didn't officially do it.
Yeah. Or Scott will, like he tried to do with whoever else we were.
It was Blake Snell. I said Blake Snell's going to the Dodgers, and I was confident. And then I read the report, and I was like, oh, maybe not. And I should have just stuck with it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't hate him to the Red Sox. It'd be an interesting turn of events. It would be, I don't know. I'm rooting for him to stay with the Yankees, and not because I'm a Yankees fan, but because I don't like seeing players of his caliber going to multiple teams throughout their career. It gets goofy with their cards. It gets goofy with their legacy. I would say no matter what, like if I were holding any, unless I were a Padres fan, if I were holding any like higher end Padres Juan Soto cards, I would have sold them before now, but I would sell them for sure now, because I'm just worried that when you have these players and it's not a rookie card and it's not the card that people remember them on, Yankees stuff, I think even if he were to leave this year and only had that short stint with them, I still think those cards would fare pretty well because of the Yankees fan base.
Unless he goes with the Red Sox, then I don't think it will.
Maybe.
They'll hold up better than his Padres cards, right?
Yeah, I just think the Padres stuff like sandwiched in between is like, man, if you've got some Topps Gilded 1 of 1 or something, like I would just sell it. I would just be like, get rid of it now because he's hot. Those cards are probably still holding decently strong, even in a Padres jersey. I don't think they'll fare well long term. But if I had to pick, I'm going to go with the rumors. I'm just going to go with the rumors and say let's believe the clickbait and say he's going to go to the Red Sox and then see where the rest of the chips fall. It's interesting. He's the one that everybody's waiting to hear about, waiting to see where he's going to go. I don't know. Could they go get Corbin Burns? Yeah, maybe they should. A few of us picked Max Fried to go to the Red Sox. He's probably cheaper than Burns, so we'll see.
The one player, so I'm thinking of players who've played for this many teams this young. I can't think of any that are this good. Adrian Beltre played for 4 teams. He played for the Dodgers. He played for the Mariners, the Red Sox 1 year, and then the Rangers, right? That was Beltre, but he went to the Rangers at age 32. Yeah. Soto's going to go at age 26, potentially to a new team, and you can guarantee his contract is going to have opt-outs in like years 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there's a good chance he goes to a 5th team if the team's not competitive.
I don't know about that, Scott. I don't think whoever signs will agree to opt-outs after year 2. No way.
Okay, year 3, 4, right? Either way, he'll be 29 years old. You have a restructured deal. They've already reported that opt-outs are included. So it's one of those things, and they were talking about years 3, 4, and 5. So if that happens, there's a chance he goes to a 5th team. And like, do we think that he can be the one player who just goes everywhere, plays Hall of Fame caliber, and has a lot of value? Like, do we think that could happen? Because I bet you if Beltre stayed in one place for a long time, his cards would have more value. What do you think? Do you think that really impacts him, or do you think it's overblown?
I don't know. If he does that,
really impacts. Sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
I think it does. It does. It definitely impacts. If he just bounces around, like if every year he goes to a different team and reaches the World Series with someone else, and he's just like the annual hired gun, I think it definitely hurts the cards because by the time a set comes out, he's already off the team. But I think that would then make the national stuff all the more, it would just more emphasis on the very, very early stuff.
I agree with that. I think his national stuff is the biggest winner of all of this. His early first 2 or 3 year cards are going to have the most value.
So the one player that comes to mind that I was just looking up, Alfonso Soriano started out with the Yankees and then went to the Rangers for 2 years, and then went to Washington for a year, and then went to the Cubs for, most of the rest of his career until he finished with the Yankees again. Not quite. I mean, he was kind of a big deal back when he was hot, he was with the Yankees, but kind of fizzled out, obviously. But he's like the closest thing, and he was a little bit older too. Like he was quite a bit older when he started to take off in the majors than Soto. So
he's one of the 40-40 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And an annual top 5 fantasy pick.
Yeah,
for a good 6 or 7 year run.
Clutch, immaculate grid player.
If Devers does go to Boston, are you guys more? Would it make you inclined to?
Soto goes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. What did I just say?
Yeah,
Devers.
Yes. Well, you can tell where my mind is.
Boba of the Dodgers.
Yes. If Soto goes to the Red Sox, do you think that helps the hobby market for someone like Devers and someone like Jarren Duran?
Yes. I feel like we always talk about cannibalization, but I feel like it's a reverse effect there because the Red Sox, as Chris alluded to, it's good for baseball when the Red Sox are good. It's good for baseball when many teams are good, but especially teams with traditions like the Red Sox. And I feel like that would bring even more hobby attention to them. So yeah, I feel like it would give Devers a boost. Plus his numbers would probably go up.
You would think, yeah.
If Devers just keeps playing the same way Devers has played and Soto's there, I don't think it helps him all that much. Personally, I would not feel inclined if he's just a 3.5 WAR player and he's 28 next year. Like if that's who he is, it's not going to persuade me to buy him because Soto's there and they're in the playoffs. Like,
yeah, but if you're looking at his WAR to buy him, yeah, you're not a Devers collector.
No.
Right?
But I think the thing is, yes, maybe the value could go up if the Red Sox are good. Red Sox fans are excited. But Red Sox fans have been excited about Devers since 2017 when they won the World Series in 28. Like, my point is, I just don't.
Well, I'm saying other people might be excited then. Yes, Red Sox fans have, but most non-Red Sox fans don't watch much of the Red Sox the past few years.
I mean, people collect Jim Edmonds because Pujols was good at the same time. I mean, people collect
Jim
Edmonds was better than Devers. I don't think it's the Pujols thing. I think it's because Jim Edmonds was Jim Edmonds. Devers is going to have value. Devers is good, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think it'll help short term.
Short term, sure. Yeah, I'm cool with short term,
especially because it'll help them get to the playoffs. And anytime someone gets October,
even just looking at what happened, albeit probably pretty short lived. I haven't checked prices in the last couple of weeks, but seeing Stanton's prices surge during the playoffs because he got the chance to make the playoffs. And got the chance to be under the
Devers
spotlight.
Pulled Stanton, yes, I think Devers is going to be more valuable. My theory is if he stays the same guy, I don't think there's much Soto does. But if he's a Giancarlo Stanton postseason performer or Bryce Harper postseason performer, that's Devers making himself valuable.
He's pretty close to those two guys in the postseason, actually.
Yeah.
That's fine.
He's averaged 1 RBI a game in his career in the playoffs. Just throwing that out there. Yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Devers, or else this show will go for 45 minutes. Actually, it'll go for 4 hours. But yeah, so Soto cards. If he goes to the Red Sox, I will want a Soto in a Red Sox card, and I'll definitely want some image variation of him with Devers, even if I have to wait 6 years to get it, which we all might have to.
Yeah, Scott seems to think that the opt out is a big thing. I kind of feel like whatever team he goes with next, he's going to stay unless the team completely craters. So I feel like his next team could be a legacy builder. So could he be among the Red Sox greats, Mets greats, Yankees greats? So I feel like once he settles into his new team, I think I would be more interested in those cards. I think his Yankee cards will hold up better than his Padre cards, like Ty was saying. But even those one-off Yankees cards aren't going to be as sought after as they would be if this is his first year there and he ends up with a monument out in center field. So
I think there should be some concern though with opt-outs after years 3, 4, and 5. I think that should be concerning. And the whole goal, Soto is just trying to make whatever team signs him pay him more money if he plays good. Yeah. That's all.
If he has an opt-out, I think we can assume he's going to use it, because if he has an opt-out after 4 years and he's 30 and the team has been good and he's put up 4 really good years, we should assume all salaries have been slowly rising. I'm sure he could get more. So if he's got an opt-out, he'll assume he'll use it.
And let's just say at that point, Steve Cohen swoops in and gets him because he wants him at that point. I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen, Jeff. I just think it's something to talk about, right? If with another team. Also, a player that played for a lot of teams was Ricky Henderson. He's a player I thought of. Obviously, you think of Ricky Henderson, you think of the A's, but A's, Yankees,
Back to the A's.
back to
Blue
the A's,
Jays.
Blue
Yep.
Jays, Padres, Angels, Mets, Seattle, Padres,
Dodgers at the end.
Boston, Dodgers.
Nobody
Clipper
collects
19.
those cards of him, right?
No.
I mean, it's his
So
A's cards, maybe his
Yeah.
Yankee cards.
we talk about dynasty too much, but the dynasty Ricky Henderson with him on the Mariners, sick patch, amazing patch, does not go for very much. Dynasty of a sick A's patch goes for a ton. So yeah, people
for
do
sure.
get remembered for a team, which is interesting.
Conversely, he only has like I think it's 03 update and 03 Chrome update are his only 2 cards as a Dodger. So the only there's a gold parallel numbered to 2003, and I think there's a refractor in Chrome update, and those sell for really good prices if they ever come up. So like his presence in a Dodger uniform just for that one set, Dodger collectors really, really like those cards. Like they sell for way more than they should.
That's cool. If anything's that limited, right? Yeah.
Conversely, the Joey Votto Blue Jays cards this year, Jeff, have not. I had a theory that they would be a novelty and people would like them, but they just keep coming out.
Yeah.
But he never even played for them.
That
baffles my mind.
He didn't play one game for the Blue Jays. He only played for their minor league teams. That's my issue with why they even exist, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. But if we talk about a player I like, Larry Walker, played for the Rockies and then 2 years of the Cardinals. I don't really care for the Cardinals cards. I wouldn't pay more for them. But I don't know. I hope Soto personally goes to the Yankees. I want him to stay a Yankee. He looked too good in the Yankees uniform. He did really well in the Bronx.
It's a good fit.
It's such a good fit. But I do think if there really is like a master plan between him, Vlad, and Devers, and they're kind of chatting behind closed doors, which they shouldn't be doing, but if they are, then that could be a big reason with Big Papi whispering sweet things into his ear about Boston, and he would do really well off the Green Monster. So
yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. They're what was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know. I had a thought.
Yeah, it's fun to think of different scenarios where Soto could land. I saw somebody was sharing on Instagram how many home runs he would have had at all the ballparks. I did see he would have had 64 this year in Cincinnati.
Yes, I think Scott pulled that up at one point here as well.
Everybody. I think everybody would have.
I also think if you're Soto and you're looking at long-term like viability for the franchise you might want to stay with and what the rosters look like right now, the Red Sox have a much better young core than the Yankees do. Like by a pretty wide margin. The Yankees they're old and they have a lot of holes right now. And if they have to give $620 million to Juan Soto, those other holes are really, really hard to fill.
that's what she said.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about their minor league systems, but that should be. Yeah, I'm sure that's something he and his people are talking about for sure.
The Red Sox minor league system is probably a top 5 system. It has been historically. Like they have a bunch of young players, which is good because either they can trade for win now assets or they can develop in the next 3 years. And Soto's okay with next year being a transitionary year, right? So like it's one of those things where I do agree with that. Their future is bright. The Dodgers being in this race is intriguing to me. I mean, I don't know why the Dodgers would do this. I don't think it makes sense. I mean, he's really good. That's why it makes sense. But at the same time, they have other players, but all their players are Shohei's 30, Mookie's 32, Freddie's 35. So maybe the thought process is let's get someone young in. So that way, as those guys age, we can still be competitive. But I don't see that happening. Do you see him as a Dodger?
I am only in my nightmares do I see him in that Dodger jersey.
Every player I care about will play for the Dodgers. Yeah. It's going to suck.
I mean, we don't want the MLB to be essentially the Harlem Globetrotters, like where we're just waiting 6 months to see who the Dodgers play in the World Series. Like, I don't think that's what people want. So hopefully not. They should just re-up Teoscar. He fit in really well there.
Mm-hmm.
Makes most sense. Sign him to a 3-year deal, $25 million a year. Call it a day. And then get Sasaki, and you're good. You're ready to go. The funny thing about the Dodgers, though, is they were beat by 2 of their division opponents the last 2 years before this World Series. And the whole thing was like how they suck. And now all of a sudden they're ruining the MLB, which is ironic because it's just like a 1-year swing and now they're ruining everything. But
it's just them doing
from like clowning.
Just them doing what everybody thought they would do every other year.
Right.
Yeah. They finally did it.
But people are like melting down about like the deferred money, which is ironic because everybody defers money. Yes, the Dodgers with the Ohtani contract is unique. I know that. But it's all within the Like if whoever Ohtani signed with would have had that contract. It's not a Dodgers thing. He actually offered that to other teams.
Yeah. Yeah, that was his idea. Yeah, I feel like the Dodgers the last couple of years have had, they and the Braves have both gone to the playoffs not being at 100%. Like their pitching staff has sort of gotten hurt at a really bad time. So on paper, they have these 4 aces right now, but all 4 of those guys have track records of not being super healthy. They're all going to make like what, 35 million plus next year, which is insane. I don't know if Sasaki is if he's going to be their 5th guy. I don't know. I still think he might go to the Padres because Yu Darvish does have a lot of pull. He's kind of a legend to every young Japanese player out there. I would love to see a team like some mid-market team get Sasaki because that one's not about money, right? Like there's a max. Every team can only offer him the same amount, right? Because of his service time in Japan.
Oh, is that how that works?
It's international. Basically, it's international signing bonus. So the hard part is teams have already basically done handshake agreements with a lot of prospects in other countries. So there's rumors they're going to break all those handshake agreements, which is like bad practice, but there was nothing keeping those in place. But whatever team does it is going to have, I think, like 6 million, I think is kind of like what it is. For every team should have the same amount of money that they can give. And then at that point, they pay him as any player, any minor leaguer coming up. And then in 5 years, he hits, depending if he wins Rookie of the Year, he'll have his free agency. So putting a lot of money on the line, just like we saw with Ohtani, free agent in 2023. Yeah. So same situation.
Yeah, Sasaki could be a Brewers guy, Jeff. I mean, doesn't seem to be a low cost here.
He could
have to convince him to go to Milwaukee and be like
one of talk about people convincing him to go to Chicago. Other Japanese players with the Cubs.
Dude, the Cubs are so cheap right now. If I was him, I wouldn't want to go there. They won't spend. They've said publicly that they're not going to spend any money this year, basically. Like I would not. I would at least go to a team that says they're going to try. Because, the Braves make sense. The Yankees make sense. The Red Sox make sense. He's not going to the Red Sox from what I've heard of rumors, but there's a chance. The Padres make sense. The Dodgers make sense. But the hard part, I don't know. The Mets make sense. Go with Imanaga. That'd be great. Either way. Senga. Thank you. Imanaga's in Chicago.
Yeah. It took me a second. I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Thank you. The Ghost Fork. Yeah. Okay. What ballparks would Soto have hit more than 50 home runs in? What do we think?
More than 50. Obviously, Cincinnati. Jeff already said that one. Coors, for sure.
I would guess the American Family Field.
I think there's 7. Coors is not one of them because his power is into that alley. A lot of his power is into left center field, and Coors is like 420. So it's too deep.
So it's all triples then.
We had a lot of doubles and triples.
Triples. Like we saw with the Yankees. That's all the same.
Okay.
Actually, there's 10. The Padres had 50, which is ironic because he sucks in that ballpark. We know that now.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodgers had 51 because basically everywhere is kind of short in that stadium. Then we have the Brewers 52, Milwaukee, the Reds 63, Nationals 51, Phillies 54.
Oh, Phillies, yeah.
Angels 53, Houston 51, White Sox 54. That's it. So
Angels, huh? Wow.
Okay, and who else? The Blue Jays, I've actually heard rumors they'll probably have the highest offer to Soto. Do we see him as a Blue Jay? Taxes are more there. They have to pay more. Do we think he'll go?
No. Long term, they're just not. They don't have that same foundation. Although if he does go, I would assume Guerrero would sign an extension to stay there with him. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
and then what would they want to spend around those two guys, or could they spend?
They'd have to. Yeah, I mean, you can't just sign those two and then call it a day. I don't know.
So let's rank the teams. Let's make this baseball card centric. Let's rank the teams of value. What teams would have the best value for his baseball cards out of the 5 teams? The 5 teams are the Dodgers, the Mets, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, and the Yankees. Where do we rank them? Yankees number 1?
Yeah.
Number 2, where do you think, Ty?
I guess I'd go Dodgers.
Okay. Do you guys agree Dodgers be number 2?
I don't know. I'm second guessing that already, actually. I mean, he's going to be in Ohtani's shadow the whole time.
And
there's other names there competing for attention. I actually probably wouldn't say Dodgers. I don't know.
I'd say the Red Sox.
I think the Red Sox number 2. If he goes to the Dodgers, I think both there's I don't think we saw a ton of cannibalization with Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani because all 3 of their cards went up this October. But if Soto signs there, I do think there'll be so much anger and disgust at that.
That's
team.
what I was going to say. Not necessarily cannibalization, but more like Dodgers fatigue. Why do we want the Dodgers to be running the league
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm there. I'm Red Sox too, but Dodgers probably right behind them.
I would say Mets third. I think if he can go somewhere like New York, either the Yankees or the Mets or the Red Sox, and win a World Series, because they have not won any of those places in a long time. If he's the missing piece, I think he will be a legend. So any of those three, I think, will be good for his cards.
Will he be though? What other Mets players cards do really well? Like we always talk about how Lindor is undervalued.
They haven't had an MVP.
Yeah, but Pete Alonso's been like a legend for them. I know he's not a top tier player, but he's a power hitter who's got personality. I'm not sold that. I think the Mets being on the Mets hurts players' value, not helps. I can't think of a single Mets player whose card, they're like the forgotten, very popular, but somehow overshadowed, forgotten New York team that doesn't, I don't think it helps baseball card values at all.
Well, the issue they've had is they haven't really had anybody notable make the Hall of Fame or win an MVP or win a World Series in the last 50 years. The best one,
David Wright's injury stuff.
Right. Yeah, he's the best example. He has a ton of value, and he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. So
I was going to say that the 1983 Topps traded Darryl Strawberry card still sells really, really well. That's probably the most popular Mets card of the last 40 years. Wait, is that 40? 41 years.
Nolan Ryan. Who else?
Yeah.
Yeah, they really haven't had anybody that crazy. Lindor.
But they pair Soto with Lindor, and they have a ton of money coming off the books. Like they should be extremely active. Like it worries me as a Braves fan. I don't like to see how good the Phillies are, although the Phillies are at least old. But you could see the Mets, like with Vientos looks good. They've got Lindor locked in. If they add Soto, they have money to continue beyond that.
Yeah.
And he could build something good there. And like generally speaking, Ty, I completely agree. Mets hurt card values. They haven't been taken very seriously. But if they land someone like Soto, that could be the thing that sort of changes the whole franchise trajectory.
Maybe, and I think cards would take a while to catch up to that.
Yes,
I'm just
agreed.
thinking, if he signs, I think you get more of a boost from joining the Dodgers in the short term.
Really?
Yeah. In the short term, I think his stuff would drop if he signed with the Mets. But in the next 4 years down the road, he puts him in the World Series.
I think we get some Dodgers fatigue, and if the Mets prove they can do well, but then I'd be worried about Scott's opt out, which is definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
It's interesting, the KD comparison for Soto. I don't think there's any chance he goes to the Dodgers. I think it's a 0% chance. It could be a 1% chance, but we can see KD lose to the Warriors, go to the Warriors afterwards. I think Soto could be comped there. Baseball's so different, though. I can understand that, but I think that will hurt his cards. I really do. I don't think
I would have no interest in a Soto Dodgers card at all. None.
I don't think it'll really help him all that much. When Mookie went to the Dodgers, I thought his cards were going to go up. They went stagnant for 6 years. They've only recently, the last 24 months, really moved, I feel like.
Yeah, but a lot of that was the overall card market, too.
Well, at the same time, other players are moving. Tawny was
just Mookie, though. For whatever reason, people are hesitant to acknowledge how good Mookie Betts is.
Just keep buying.
Yeah. Just put our heads down and keep buying Mookie cards.
So my top 5, we can go in order if you guys disagree. I would say Yankees number 1, Red Sox number 2, Mets number 3, Dodgers number 4, Blue Jays number 5. I don't think he gets a huge boost if he goes to Toronto, personally.
I'd probably swap the Dodgers and Mets in that. But otherwise, I agree.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any other Soto thoughts that we want to talk about?
So let's say he changes teams. I don't care where he goes, but let's say he changes teams. If there is a card next year, one of the cards I'm hoping we get next year is a cool shot of his ALCS winning home run off of Gaddis, because it was pretty. He didn't milk it quite as well as Freeman did, but he kind of stood there and watched. That was a pretty cool moment, even for someone who wasn't necessarily rooting for the Yankees. But does that card have any value or any cachet at all if he's wearing a Mets uniform by the time it comes out?
Very little. I mean, there'll be some hardcore Yankees fans that want to remember that as a big moment in their recent history. But in general, I don't think so.
Soto's going to sign by the winter meetings, which is next week.
I saw that. Yeah, that Morosi put that story out there. It said 10 days.
So the Topps is going to have time to not print him in a Yankees uniform. I wouldn't be surprised if we just don't get that card. I don't they already made a Topps now of it. I think that's probably sufficient in their eyes, which is unfortunate.
It
If
is.
he stays a Yankee, yes, that card
Oh.
will exist. But if he doesn't, I don't think it'll even be made.
We didn't even get Acuna holding up second base.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Scott,
I'm probably
you
giving him too much credit. As
You
it
think
is.
if he goes to a different team, we don't get 2025 Soto Yankees cards at all?
Why would we?
Well,
like
Padres cards lasted so long. Like
I would
way
bet
in-
money he's in Series 1 as a Yankee.
Let's
Almost,
talk
you
about
can almost guarantee
Otani.
it.
When was Otani's
Yeah.
first?
I
Was
think
he
he's
an
in
Angel
Series
in
1
Series
as a
1?
Yankee.
Yeah, Otani was an Angel, right? And then he had this.
Yes, he had that
SS.
that photoshopped like Ultra FP that they put in there.
But my point is the SSP of the good image, I think, would be with his new team. I don't think it would be held for that moment. Is kind of what I'm saying. He might have a base card, but I don't think they'd cater to it.
Yeah.
But let's look
That's
at
a shame to think about the cards you don't get. Like I still think we missed out on some Freddie Freeman World Series cards because he signed with the Dodgers.
yes. No, I agree with that.
And that hurts me personally. Like Soto's got two really good image variations this year. He's got the update where he's jumping, or is it Series 2? I think it's update where he's jumping around third base. Yeah, I love that card. And then the Stadium Club where he's reacting to the bleacher creatures back there during the roll call. Like those two cards are amazing, but I don't have any yet because I feel like if he doesn't sign there, I can get him for half price in a few months.
Yeah, definitely holding pattern for Soto cards right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen with you. I searched Otani 2024 Series 1. I don't think he had a Series 1 base, but he had like inserts with so I don't think Soto will. Like they're all the inserts. Like this is an insert.
I see. Is that a silver pack?
Silver pack 88, 89 insert.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna throw him some Yankees images in there, but
they'll be like this though. I don't think he's gonna have a base or image variation as a Yankee.
You're probably right. How much is that? Is the Ultra or the SSS, whatever they want to call that, the photoshopped one? He's batting.
Is this it? Where is it?
Right there. That. Oh my God.
$4,000.
Get out of here.
I want to see sales of those ones.
Yeah, seriously.
Let me see if I can just do a. I'm typing with my left hand only, so forgive the errors.
Don't, and let's not pull on that thread at all. No one has follow-up questions.
Ty, can you pull up market movers?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. But
here's one.
Yes, Soto's first Yankee card is actually in Series 1 the same way, right? He's got like a airbrushed. Oh yeah. I see one sold.
Less than $1,000 for that.
What's the date on that? I can't see it.
$700. September 18th. $700, $600. So no, it's not that crazy expensive. Probably because we know it's airbrushed.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Anyways, so yeah, I think we'll have one half year of Soto cards in a Yankees uniform if he doesn't re-sign, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think the consensus is hope he's a Yankee, and if not, a Red Sox.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of this whole Soto situation, and we will see you in the next video.